Em
and Lex,
two imperfect six-figure business coaches, co-founders, and friends who decided to combine our superpowers to bring to market something we wish we had when we entered the world of coaching.
a real, non-BS, intimate, and fun community built with integrity, intention, and a few glasses of wine.
In this podcast, we get real.
Real about life,
business,
relationships,
and what it really takes to find your version of success in the world of coaching. Are you ready, Lex?
I'm set, Em.
Let's coach. Hi, Lex.
Hi, Em. Guys, we're doing something very different today. Yep, we sure are. Isn't that right?
Yes, we are. I was going to say, I so appreciated last week in our grad sesh. One of our students asked, when you do your podcast, do you like outline a script to it, or is it, like, how do you do it? I completely even forgot to plug in my microphone. Like, I'm not going to lie. And I was like, yes, it is very scripted. And,
we'd be phenomenal actors if this was scripted. We're so good that it doesn't seem scripted. But today's episode, it's a little bit different, guys. And I'm going to be real honest. It's a making it work moment because I have this little ticking time bomb sitting next to me. So we were thinking, what can we
for those that are not watching, she does not have a time bomb next to her. She has an iPad with her child attached to it, basically.
On it. Ashlyn's asleep and she's stirring. She's a stirring. So we decided, what is something we can do really, really fast? We are going to do our version of an Em and Lex affirmation pick up, daily pickups and pump up. Yeah.
Should I start stretching?
No, but you should sing your jingle.
Okay. If you're feeling sad and lonely, Lex and Em are here for you, and we will pump you up, pump it up, pump it up. That's on the fly, guys.
Pump up the gym. Okay, guys, so rein it in. This episode is for you. If you are feeling unmotivated, if you are feeling, you're just having a day, you're just having a freaking day, you're having a week, you're having a month, right? You're having a quarter. Things have just not been going great. You're sad, you're anxious, you're just having a human moment.
You mean Mercury's in retrograde?
That too. If you're in the woo and the Mercury is in the retrograde.
Very good. Very good. We're training her well. So Lex, I'm going to actually throw it on you first and foremost. What do you do when you are feeling the poo on those days and you're not feeling this, like the sparkles, you're not feeling like your business, you're not feeling, maybe it might be a moment where how do I say this? There's a drought happening in terms of clients, or you feel conflict. How do you reset?
Yeah. How do I reset? I think before you even reset, something I want every single person watching this or listening to hear is, and this is maybe a cheesy line, but we see you, we hear you, because we are you, we're human. It is so freaking important in moments where we're feeling any sort of negative way to take a step back and give ourselves some grace and remember that we are human beings, and likely whatever you're feeling is something that's been hardwired into us, and just the fact that we are this species, right? One of my things that I always remind myself is that humans are hardwired to have fight, flight, or freeze. We are meant for survival, meaning we are not meant to walk this planet neutrally with no emotion. That's just not how we were bred.
And Lex, I will jump up on that while she is doing the dance in the crib, Ashlyn, not Lexie. I was watching Planet Earth last night, and it was, first off, it was thrilling. And I just want to start there. Like, holy smokes, I had to cover my eyes half the time. But you really think about that flight, fight, or freeze, where that aspect of like eat or be eaten applies, and how fortunate when you take a step back and realize like how fortunate we are in our lives. And I'm going to make a big blanket assumption here, but for the most part, most of us are probably inside an establishment with a roof over our heads. We have food to consume tonight. And so those moments when you are feeling like you are at the bottom of the barrel or like life is the worst, is there an aspect where you can take inventory of what is working, what you do have, rather than focusing on what is yet to come or what you do not have working in your life? And I think
that's the solution. But before you get to solutions, Emily, can you validate them a little bit further?
absolutely, that this is something that we all go through. And I love pulling from an Us Weekly right now, where it's like stars, they're just like us. Everyone is human. And in moments too of feeling like, wow, things are crazy, and I'm not trying to give a solution, it's going to be a solution and a validation, Lex, but realizing that we're such small little specks on this giant planet of ours, is just, and realizing that there's millions of people who are in their own little rat race, doing their own little crazy dance, their own little freak out, that you're not alone in feeling how you're feeling.
There is not a single person on this planet who is adverse to a bad day. Like,
And if
we
you
are
are like,
bullshit. If you're like, no, I am great. Cool. Are you a monk? I don't know. It's just not real. So first and foremost, you're allowed to feel the way you feel. You don't also need to have the craziest, biggest thing that sets you off. It could be you just woke up not feeling great. You might not have some big dramatic thing that's upsetting you, and that is okay. That's human.
and I also want to point out from our perspective too, I'm very grateful for my relationship with Lex. So if you don't have a Lex, find a Lex. But having those days, like, and Lex, you and I both have had these moments where we've texted each other and we're like, I'm just hysterically crying. And you're like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just crying. I just feel really sad, or I feel really heavy, or I feel really like ho hum, basically is the word, malaise about life. And knowing that we probably at least go through that individually once a month, at least.
Yeah. And if anyone ever meets your negative emotion with an immediate, you don't have the right to feel that way, fuck them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excuse my language.
We're putting an R rating on this show.
No, we're putting an R1. Fuck them, because you are allowed to feel the way that you're feeling. You're human. Okay, so now we go into solution mode. First and foremost, give yourself a day. If you're having a day, you're allowed. Allow yourself to feel it, acknowledge it. Then I always say go to feeding yourself as a human. Have you slept? Have you ate? Have you drank water? Let's do those things. Let's do a quick check-in with our body, because likely there's something, like maybe you haven't had protein today, maybe you had a shit night's sleep, maybe you're sick. There's probably something externally in your environment that is adding to your negative emotion, right?
And I think a lot of times too, movement is the remedy that we often forget. We've been sitting in front of a screen, your eyes are you're going cross-eyed, you feel a little nauseous, you're not quite sure, but you literally have not moved your eyes from this like little glass thing that is capturing us and pulling us into this digital world. So have you given yourself a moment to step away and to feel grass on your feet, to smell fresh air, to just be in a different climate? So often the healing benefits of just being outside are immediate, and we forget to tap into them.
Okay, so you are validated. You're allowed to feel that way. Now we're going to do a really hyper quick like reset for you. We're not even going to brainstorm all the different solutions for long term. We just want you to leave this podcast, whether you're listening or watching it, feeling a little bit better. So first and foremost, Em, I want you to lead us through a signature, really fast Em stretch.
Oh my gosh. Okay, guys. So I'm really into corporeal yoga. This is why she's picking on me here. So first and foremost, if you have been sitting all day, I want you to sit up, put your feet on the ground, and I want you to put your hands up in the air. And I want you
Unless you're driving.
Unless you're driving, please don't do this while driving, unless please operate safely. Now take your right hand and grab your left wrist and pull it for a side bend to that direction. Yes, but great job, Lex. And lean into that side bend. And so much we forget how tight we are and how often we are hunched over like little worker bees at our computer. Now swap sides. Lex, do you feel that stretch?
I do. I never stretch unless literally you tell me to.
And what does it feel?
Oh, it feels so good. I feel like I'm releasing tension. Guys, do it. If you are not doing it, freaking do it.
Okay. And then I'm going to do one more. So take your elbow and put it behind your head and bring your opposite hand and push down on the elbow. So this is a tricep stretch. Oh my God. Holy smokes. I feel like my arms are like, hello, thank you. Come back to me.
Switch.
Switch. And then quickly, we're going to do our legs. So you're going to put your foot, you're going to cross your ankle over your knee and do a figure four, a quick figure four, kind of like a dad pose. I call this a dad sit. This is like how a dad sits while reading his newspaper, and lean back. And if you have something, this might actually just grab your fucking knee.
Grab it. We're doing hyper speed. We're not core powering right now.
Grab your knee. Now switch. Oh, that felt really good. And switch. And then lastly, we're going to do one quick thing where we're going to stand up. And we are going to raise our hands to a good morning stretch, go all the way to the top.
Such an awkward camera view.
Drop your hands down to the ground. Grab your toes if you can. And then lift your spine up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Pull your shoulders back, and voila.
Okay, and then a couple quick things so I can go back to being a mom, guys, for your day. If you are having anger, grab a pillow, scream into that pillow. If you are someone who gets pumped up by music, pause this podcast, play the fucking pump up song. Guys, you got this. You are a freaking human. You're allowed to have a bad day, but you also, once you've felt all the feelings, you need to pick back up. Pick yourself back up.
And I have to give you a song for this, y'all. This is my go-to break up song. You get knocked down, but you get up again. Up Thumper by Chumbawamba. Put that on, blast it, scream it, and then follow it by Are We Human or Are We Dancers by The Killers.
I like that. And then my favorite Pinterest quote to live by is, you have survived 100% of your hardest days so far. So on that note, we thank you for this quickie today. And until next time on the Ready, Set, Coach
podcast.
If you're enjoying the Ready, Set, Coach podcast, please leave a review wherever you are listening. For more information about Ready, Set, Coach, visit readysetcoachprogram.com.